Women of Reddit, what flirting signals do men miss or not pick up on? Sometimes guys can have such a low self-esteem that when a girl flirts with them, they have zero clue if you're being sincere. Actually, most guys do pick up on the signals, but convince themselves that it's their imagination. No way can she be interested in me. She said she likes my shirt. Must only be my shirt then. Or even when the guys have acted on the signals only to be flat out rejected. Hard. Shit's tough, man. Edit. I'm not saying the shirt compliment is a surefire flirting sign. It isn't. What I mean is that when a girl compliments a dude in any way, the thought process consists of, not in any specific order, it's only the shirt just being friendly. No way it's a compliment towards me. Maybe it was a compliment towards me, but it's been 2 months and she's stopped talking to me. My current so did not notice we were going on dates. We went swing dancing for 4 hours, went to a yoga class, and followed it up with Malt's watercolor painted on my roof at sunset. He thought we were just pals being pals, until I kissed him. Edit. Forgot to mention the time we fell asleep cuddling. He had a boner. He later told me his thought process was, I shouldn't have a boner. She's my friend. I'm being disrespectful. Meanwhile I was just thinking he didn't like me enough. Oh man. This is me and my current wife. We did stuff like that for weeks. I kept telling myself, we are good friends and I don't want to ruin it. But I was very interested in her. One night I crashed at her place cause we were drinking, and I slept on the couch. She told me later that she was in her room, letting out loud sighs, to give me the hint. Right over my head. It finally took her asking for a massage from me on the couch. She said that it was too uncomfortable, so we should go finish it on the bed. Then complaining she couldn't feel the massage through all her layers of clothes. Slowly started taking some of the layers off. It wasn't until the bra came off that I finally took the hint and kissed her. Jesus, I was blind, and she reminds me every day. I recently attempted to start a 2-person book club. I think this may have been too subtle. Edit. My first gold. The new kind stranger. What did you like about the Kama Sutra? Did you see any positions you want to try with anybody in the room? It was well written but some of the pictographs were hard to decipher. I like the pictures but some of the positions might be too difficult for me. We can practice if you want. That's a good idea. I'll get the first aid dummy I keep in my car. I mean practice together while naked. That's a great idea. Make it as realistic as possible. I want you to put your penis into my vagina. Wow. You are really into making simulations as real as possible. I think you would like armor. A few decades later he wakes up and thinks you might have been hitting on him. I'm just going to say right now that my self-esteem is so low that unless someone directly asks me out I'm probably not going to pick up on any signals. Some of us are dense as can be. Once had a woman over and she asked if I'd go lock the door. I thought she was being weird until I turned around and her clothes were off. Then I got it. I now look for signals. Oh my god. Somebody broke in and stole the clothes off your back. I'm sorry I didn't lock the door sooner. Apostrophe. I am really bad on picking up signals. Some years ago I worked in a large office and the pretty receptionist used to wave at me every time I came in. I used to grab a bite, usually alone, at lunch in the canteen. And she asked if she could join me. This became regular for a couple of weeks, and we chat about non-consequential stuff. Sometimes she appeared to try and steer the conversation towards sexual stuff. But, back then, I was uncomfortable and didn't follow up. She would flick and twist her hair, smile and tilt her head when I talked. After a while, when I walked past reception and she started blowing kisses to me. So I thought okay, those must be signals. Right, so I got up the courage to ask her out. She reported me to ours for sexual harassment. So that my exes told me afterwards, if she mentions at any time that she's free or is going to be bored, she wants to spend time with you. It's obvious in hindsight, but I was a dumbass used to tell her friends to walk ahead / go without her playful hitting. I missed this fairly obvious one too. See above. Dumbass starts talking about how shitty most guys are / being single is annoying. She suddenly had my exact music taste. She is telling me my hour is up. and it's $100 for another. In my experience, all of them except for the things that are definitely not signals. I'm looking at you, deli man who assumed my purchasing a half pound of provolone cheese was a come on. You don't have to be provolone anymore. I'm all of them short of directly asking them out. Freshman year of college, I used to help this girl with her CS course. I was doing great in the subject. She was struggling, and we lived in the same dorm. Even shared some classes together. So we'd often go to our floor's study room, start talking about our CS homework, and get distracted showing each other YouTube videos or talking about games. On several occasions, she started lightly rubbing my shoulders while making eye contact. She talked about blowjobs on one occasion, which at the time I thought golly gee surprised that subject came up. We sort of drifted apart after that year. Over a year later, one of her friends told me that she had had a crush on me. It seems so obvious now, but the thought of another human being attracted to me was such a foreign concept at the time. I never even considered it. It's weird but might just be me. BT when I take a guy's shirt sleeve in my hand and rub it, as if trying to check out the material. It's my sad attempt at flirting. Not really their fault if they don't pick up. When my husband and I discussed past relationships, he told me how he had a ton of girls who would hang out with him all the time and flirt with him, but never ask him out, so he figured they weren't really interested in him. I laughed so hard, then explained that they were waiting for him to ask him out. He thought about it a bit, then agreed that maybe that was possible, but how would he know they were interested? After facepumming like 5 times, I explained the hanging out accompanied by flirting was their showing interest. The problem with questions like these is that the answer is almost entirely dependent on context. Eye contact, smiling, laughing at jokes, etc. are very ambiguous and can be interpreted many ways. Most guys are going to default to the safe position, i.e., not flirting, because it can be very messy for a guy to assume flirtation when there is none, and then act on that assumption. Straight up, my husband is an amazing man and I love him, but he was incredibly thick in the head while I was trying to date him. In high school I flirted non-stop with him, rubbed my hand up and down his leg, complained about being single, hugged him constantly, accidentally bumped into him, went out on outings with him. Hell, I once changed clothes in front of him. All throughout high school. Nothing. I think that's the end of it and move on with my life. Staying friend WTH him, but still very disappointed. Dating other guys in college. All boring. When I meet him there, apparently he transferred. I nearly yell enjoy at the coincidence. I decide that I'm not letting the opportunity slip by. After catching up with him and stuff, I straight up kissed him. Told him that I had a crush on him, and he just sits there shocked. Apparently he had a crush on me since high school. He just didn't think I was interested. Ducking facepalmed so hard. So yeah, my advice to the guys on Reddit: if a girl constantly wants to spend time with you, cuddles with you, hugs you, complains about how single she is, and changes in front of you, odds are you have a good shot at dating her, unless she's a lesbian. A friend of mine once told me, "You know that girl is staring at you, right?" I thought she was, but I wasn't sure. It's either that, or she's staring at me, and she has one hell of a squint. Apostrophe. I walked into her place and she just blurted out, "I'd suck your dick." I laughed it off as a joke. Look, there's been so many times where I've mistakenly thought somebody liked me or was flirting with me. It's fucking embarrassing. There's bound to have been a few times where somebody was actually flirting with me, and despite maybe noticing, I don't respond in fear of embarrassing myself. I hate coming off as a creep at least as much as you hate not being noticed. As a man, I couldn't be able to tell if a woman is interested in me. Even if she told me, I would just think she's messing with me. I think you're really cool and we should date him. Who dared you to say that? Over the weekend, a girl I was chatting to was getting me to feel her skirt material, asked me to dance, then said, "I'm gonna go home now." I responded okay, Good night. It wasn't until today that I thought, wait a minute. I once had a girl outright grab my dick and start rubbing, and I ducking asked, are you sure men are not smart creatures? If what I've gathered from this thread and similar threads is true, then men never pick up on signals. If that is true, then why do women do the exact same things that do not work? You'd think at a point things would change to be more effective. I'm just gonna speak from experience of being a guy. If she comes over after dark for any reason not specifically platonic, like picking stuff up, then she's more than likely down. When you save them from drowning, even though they are not actually drowning, but some kid is only a few feet away and you're on lifeguard duty. As a guy, I'll just say all of them short of stripping and professing attraction. Anything subtler than that, and we'll either ignore it or write it off as just our imagination. Writing for my sister, and she says men don't pick up on eye contact and them being nice. This made me wanna hug my brother. All this thread tells me is that women should lower their expectations of the perceptiveness of men, and that men should be more selective of what female behavior they read into. Wow, your hands are so much bigger than mine. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.